We are I of Balor, and this is Dave Softees Metal Meltdown on Metal Messiah Radio. Stay tuned, because I'm not soft.
There's something wrong here. The children living in fear. How can we learn here? The schools are killing fields. You stray so bastard. You preach on false ideas. Tell me the last time. It's not the killer's fantasy. You say it's never laying out top more than boyfriend. We don't care for the mentally ill. We'll just grab them, take them, hide them in the shadows. And the children that are learning to kill will say no. They just live with the consequences. Laying out a bullet. Boyfriend, how did it work for you? Now we're back to gun control. For the head, don't be a coward. Take your life instead. Gun control. Mates, aim for the head. No quarter given. The only justice or death.
Alrighty, Metal Maniacs, here we go. Please help me welcome to Metal Messiah Radio. Hailing from the Bay Area, we have thrash metal deathcore band I of Balor. We have the entire band joining us. Please introduce yourselves, guys, to the Metal Maniacs. Tell them who you are and what you do in the band.
I'm Anthony Abeyta. I play drums.
My name's Sean Wert. I'm the vocalist.
Damian Smith, I play lead guitar.
Joe Murchek, I play rhythm guitar.
Our bassist, Maggie, is not here right now, but she sends her wishes.
Okay, great. Hopefully she could join us at some point, but if not, we'll make a great interview for Eye of Balor. Let everyone learn more about your band, and I want to thank you for joining us tonight on the Metal Meltdown on Metal Messiah Radio, and thank you for this opportunity.
No, thank you.
Well, we hear about the underground, so we need to know as much as we can about the band. When did the band actually form, and who selected Eye of Balor as the band's name?
So I reached out to Damian February of last year. This is Anthony again. I reached out to Damian February of last year about starting a project. I had previously worked with him in another project, and we just instantly clicked. And when I was looking into starting something new, he was the one guy I wanted to work with. So I reached out to him in February, and we pretty much started right away. In the studio, started writing new music and getting ready for the recording of Imp of the Perverse.
It was actually, this is Sean, vocalist. It was actually really funny. We, our first band, or how the project first started, was actually The Subtle Art of Murder. We kind of backed away from that name a little bit just because it's really close to Thy Art is Murder. So we were like, we don't really kind of want to be that close. So like most of our stuff, we did a 5-10 minute sit down. There was a couple text messages back and forth prior, and then we just ended with Eye of Balor.
We definitely looked into the history and the lore of who and what Balor was, and thought that it would fit with the kind of music that we're writing. You want to elaborate a little bit, Damian?
Yeah, it was good inspiration. Reading a lot of his stuff, the lore of Balor is he's a destroyer, a bringer of new life. Basically starting everything back again from the ground up. And I mean, before we had started this, I'd started building a home studio and writing a lot of my own stuff with just me and Sean. And then Anthony reached out. I had played in a prior band with Maggie, so we got a hold of her, brought her in. Our original lead guitarist, Rick Shaves, I played in a Morbid Curiosity with him, and then he had to step away. And we were actually buddies with Joe through work, and found out he was a metalhead. Brought him in, and it just had that charisma and that click, and it all just kind of fell into place, and we just kept moving from there.
Yeah, the funny thing about Joe's entry into the band was once Rick stepped away, he had another project, a really good band, Negative Six. When he stepped away to focus on that project, we were going through the steps of auditioning other guitarists, and Joe happened to sit in on one of the auditions and busted out a guitar. And no offense to the guy who auditioned for us, but he was a far superior guitarist, and personality wise, he was just one of the guys instantly. So we're glad to have him with us.
Yep.
Excellent, guys. And Vlad, I know Vlad. That's how I heard about Eye of Balor. He had said, check out the new bands I have on my roster, and there was a couple of songs on there, and I checked out the music. I says, that's great, but there's only a couple of songs. Could I get some more music? Because it's all about interviewing these bands that he has on his roster. And so I asked him, and he goes, sure, I'll upload it for you. So I checked out your music, and I got to tell you, this is kick-ass. Whatever you call it. It's thrashy, it's deathy. It really moves you. It's really a kick-ass strong offering. So I want to know all about the making of this music, and then we could talk about more stuff relating to Imp of the Perverse, which has a very interesting name to itself, the title. So I'd like to know how all your music comes together. Who's responsible for writing the music and the lyrics?
Well, first of all, thanks for the kind words. A lot of the music there was a few songs that are on the album that were written primarily by Damian before I joined the band, and then once I joined the band, he had a lot of stuff programmed on a computer, and he was like, I want you to do this. So that's what I did, with some elaborations as well. And then when it came to the writing process, me and Damian, like I said, we clicked really well when we were working in a previous project. So when it came to the original writing of some of the other songs on the album, me and Damian were able to bang those out like really, really quickly, just because we feed off of each other so well. When it comes to the lyrics, we all have a big part in writing the lyrics. Sean does the primary part of the lyric writing, but we all, it's all very much a group effort. We all sit around the table, play the songs over and over again once we have all the music written, and then we all bang out the lyrics together, or say, hey, we like this or we don't like that, so that we're getting the best product that we could possibly put out.
It's also not just the lyrics either. Like, Anthony and Damian really do click a lot. And then it was Anthony, Damian, and Rick before, and, kind of like writing a lot of the instrumental. But everybody gives their inputs. It's not just on the vocals either. It's the entire band gives their inputs on what we want to play and what we think would be cool. Are we going to go for something that's going to be like really technical and crazy? Are we going to have like some fun parts in the middle of it? Do we want to flop and make, this bar longer, this bar shorter? Do we want to extend something? It's all a group effort on like what we decide, and then we'll go back and forth to see exactly like, hey, we should do this, we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good process what you have there, and you're working together on it. So team effort's the way to go. Absolutely. And I'd like to know, you were mentioning that you like built your own studio. Did you record this in your own studio, or did you go to an outside studio? And I'd like to know who was responsible for the mastering and the mixing and producing of this.
So for people that are interested, if you go to our Facebook page, you can find some really old stuff that we had posted up. The original take of Noose of Doubt, where that's one that I recorded the band, I did the mixing, the mastering, everything, and then Maggie, our bass player, got all the video footage with our GoPros, and then she did all the video editing and everything else. So initially it started off as me taking a go at it myself, and then I realized, okay, this is all right for doing it at home, for doing that first demo and coming out. And then we started looking at people to go and record with, and living in the Bay Area, there's so many different people that we could have gone with. We could have gone with Juan Ortega. He's known for recording Testament. He's done some of the Machine Head albums, a lot of the other thrash bands, Exodus, etc. But the choice we ended up finally going with is Zach Orn at Castle Ultimate and Sharkbite Studios. He's recorded Oblivion, All Shall Perish, Machine Head. I mean, his roster is just way out there for a lot of guys he's helped out and recorded with. And I mean, best engineer you could work with, really awesome guy. He wasn't shy about giving his input on if we were playing something sloppy or if it was in the wrong key, what we should adjust. So, I mean, working with him was a great experience. We're planning on doing it again, especially with this upcoming album. And then with the writing process now, we're still kind of doing it the same way. I'm recording everything in the studio. We're writing stuff out. We're kind of not reverse engineering, but we're kind of backing away from live writing everything, going back and replaying of like kind of pre-recording stuff, mixing around with it, changing stuff around, kind of giving ourselves an opportunity to push ourselves out of our comfort zones of, okay, well, this is difficult for me to play. Let's see if I can push myself to finally do it, whether it's certain kick style for the drums for Anthony, or me trying to do something specific on like a lead part in guitar, or Joe and me trying to come up with some intricate picking patterns. So it's made everything interesting. And I mean, Zach, again, dude, one of the best guys we could have gone with. I mean, he does an amazing job. I recommend checking him out. Zach Orm, Castle Ultimate, Sharkbite Studios, based out of Oakland.
Excellent. Now, you're talking about the music of Imp of the Perverse, or you're talking about music that you're going to be working on beyond this?
So, our next album. So, since Imp of the Perverse, our EP is finished, we're writing for the next album already,
and we're going about it the same way that we did the first one. So
I see. Okay.
To get out with the first album, we're gonna try to not we're not going to try to redo it or go too far away from that, but we're going to try to more fine point our groove and where we sit with writing, you know, the kind of stuff that we want to put out. We just want to fine tune everything and kind of stick with that. And working with Zach, working with the group that we're working with now, we feel really confident we can accomplish that.
Excellent.
And then as far as like the name of the album, Imp of the Perverse, if you do listen to all the songs, each of the songs have like a different kind of, I guess I would say like a psychological kind of meaning. So like anything that is, you know, dark in the world, right? So Grinder is about a serial killer. Blood is about like overthrowing tyranny, and then The Calling, which is actually based on the album title, The Imp of the Perverse, is actually about the Imp of the Perverse. So that's like it's a psychological kind of thing that happens where, you know, a great example is if you're driving and, you know, just out of nowhere, you're like, what's going to happen if I just go off the road or the side of the mountain? Or you're standing in front of like the train and you're like, I wonder what would happen if I just push this person in front of the train. You don't actually act on those impulses. You just kind of, it's a thought that pops into your head. And that is the Imp of the Perverse. So we just kind of based the name from, you know, the kind of songs that we were writing.
Right. And it fits with the album concept too, because going through writing the album Imp of the Perverse, we weren't going about it as most bands would, of like, oh, let's stick to this specific style, this specific key, you know, it's got to only be chug, or it's got to only be fast, intricate, technical. Like, we really approached with the idea of, let's just go with the moment. Like, let's throw this curve in here, or let's switch from this deathcore style riff to just some straight up like 80s thrash metal. Yeah. And then go back. We'll throw in
some groovy stuff.
Yeah, the Imp of the Perverse, it does this crazy twist into like this almost like funky metal part, you know. So it all kind of worked itself into the album itself.
That's one of the cool things about the album itself, is that like every song is a little different from all the others. Like Sean was mentioning a few of the other songs that and what they were about. Like Gun Control is about like all the shootings and stuff that have been happening, you know, all over America, and, you know, our take on what should happen, you know, to those people that are doing those things and what leads up to those things happening. And then Oathbreaker, it was kind of a funny song when we were writing that. Me and Damian originally wrote that song together, and it was funny that when it came to the lyrics, we were all huge Game of Thrones fans, and in writing that song, the song ended up being about Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones, and that one was just a fun one to write. So in the end, like, every song is a little bit different, and it just adds to this awesome sounding album that we're putting out.
I'm proud of it.
And I also noticed the artwork for the CD cover. That's really sick. Could you tell us who designed this CD art cover for Imp of the Perverse?
Oh God, man, Remy Headsplit Design. Look him up on Facebook, Instagram. The guy does amazing work. He did. So we've gotten art from. He's done Whitechapels. I mean, list goes on and on of the different stuff the guy does. I believe he's based in France. And I mean, the dude just does stellar work.
Amazing artist.
I mean, he's got just all kinds of different styles, or not styles, but like different concepts for different art. He's got stuff based out of religion. I mean, stuff you could take from like mental illness. Like the album cover that we chose, we felt that it really fit with that concept of like getting pulled from different directions and just trying to fight your way out of it. Basically, staying away from your demons and staying as your own. So, I mean, we saw that and we were immediately like, dude, we want that. That's right there. That fits with it. You know, because we were going in like, oh, let's get some commissioned work. Let's tell them what we want. And then when we were looking through his stuff, we saw this one and it just spoke to us.
Yeah, it's outstanding. And your artwork, your band logo, who designed that? Because that also pops.
No, so that wasn't Remy. That's a good friend of mine, Brian Lewis from Stone Design. He's a guy from out here in California, the Bay Area, the Valley. He does every bit of logos, anything like that for the past 3 bands I've been in. And he does a lot of other guys in the Bay Area. He's been picking up more and more work. Guy does killer work though, and I love it because he does these metal logos and fonts and stuff for bands that are legible. So it's not like the basic stuff you see for a lot of guys where it's like the bundle of sticks joke. You know what I'm saying? Where you can't really understand it or read it.
Oh, like a lot of those black metal bands, yeah.
Yeah, he's able to push something that's got that hint of brutality to it, and it fits with you, but it's legible from a distance, and that's what we wanted. We wanted something that like caught you off guard, hit you in the face, but you could read it. You didn't have to go over it 20 different times. Like, what does that say? So Brian Lewis, Stone Design, again, that's someone else I recommend. Check him out on Facebook. Stone Design.
Now, one thing I'm curious about, I'm not 100% sure I follow. Because I look on the Metal Archives and I noticed that Eye of Balor is not listed on the Metal Archives because I wanted to know more about the album that we're talking about, of the Perverse. Now, I thought that this was released like in the springtime or maybe summertime, and I'm not really sure on your Facebook either. And just before we got on to do the interview, I was trying to find out more information, and I think you may clear this up for me right now, because I wanted to know if this was self-released or is this being released through a label of yours, or you have a story to tell us about this, because I think you're going to explain it to us that we could all understand.
So, yeah, I can definitely cover that for you. So what happened was October 26th, we were supposed to play a show for Liquid Dueno in Crockett, California, and that was going to be our CD release show. Everything was going to drop all at the same time. It was going to go live through CD Baby on almost every streaming site that's out there, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, all that stuff. But what happened was all these fires that have been happening up here in Northern California were really, really bad. And with the PG&E shutoffs that have been going on, the power ended up being shut off at the venue, and we weren't able to actually go through with the show. The entire show was canceled because the fires actually ended up making it all the way to the bridge on the Vallejo side of the Carquinez Bridge, which is right before Crockett, California. So they're neighbors. The only thing that's separating them is that little body of water and that bridge. So ultimately the show ended up being canceled. But luckily for us, we were approached the following week about doing another release from a different promoter. We're playing a show now at the Red Hat in Concord on November 30th, the end of this month. That'll be the official release date of the album. It'll, again, go live on CD Baby, so it'll be up on our Facebook. The entire album will be up on our Facebook. It'll be up on Bandcamp. It'll go up on Spotify and iTunes and all those other sites as well, so that everybody can listen to it. We'll also have links once our website launches. Our website's going to go live as well relatively soon here. We'll have all our the albums on there. You can get hard copies. We have hard copies that'll be up, as well as a bunch of other merch that is exclusive to the release of this album as well.
Thank you for that information. That's very important, and you definitely answered my questions that I was not so sure about. Now I'm sure about it. Thank you for that. Because this actually getting this interview done before the actual release party, which is unusual for me. Usually I'm running late. Usually I'm behind the time. That music's out there.
Yeah, luckily. You're the first guy that we've actually personally talked about for the album too. So this is going to be great for the both of us. Exclusive.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And as far as our Balor and the fans, one of the most important things about these interviews, we are here to support the underground, and the way that fans of the bands can support the band is by merch. So you just gave us information about the CD, hard copies, and all that. Now, do you have a link for your official site that's going to open? Is it going to be eyeofbalor.com?
Once it launches, we'll have everything listed through our social sites, through Instagram as well as our Facebook, so that you can link directly to the website. We're still fine tuning all the little bugs so that we can get everything out, because we do want it to have band bios with, or a bio about the band as well as the individual members of the band. And then we also want to have a store link in there because we do have quite a bit of merchandise. We have a couple different T-shirts, posters, CDs, hoodies. We are even running off exclusive Zippos. We have Zippos that have laser etchings of our band logo in the front of them. We're toying around with a bunch of other ideas and see what the fans actually like. We're very, very, very close with our fans. They are what keep us going. Not to put anybody's personal information out there, but we are currently talking to a fan who's all the way in Nepal, who is a fan of us, and he's been following us since the beginning pretty much, and has been asking us constantly when the album's going to drop. I want a copy of the album. When's the album going to drop? And as a promo, like, and him being such a devoted fan, and like I said, we care about our fans so much. We're sending him stuff all the way to Nepal, just because of, that devotion that he has for us.
He got a nice surprise little package coming to him.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's great to have fans like that. I really appreciate that story, and I also appreciate the information about the merch because that's so important. And you answered my question before I even had a chance to ask it. So I appreciate that because you knew I was going to ask that about all the merch you have available. That's fantastic, and thank you for letting the people out there know about this. Also, I was looking for videos. I went on YouTube and I found Eye of Balor official, but I didn't notice any official music or lyrical videos. So I need to ask if the plan is of the band to make official music or lyrical videos for Imp of the Perverse, or is it out there and I haven't noticed?
Yes, you are correct. The only video that's up there is the Noose of Doubt video that Damian was mentioning that Maggie edited together that we shot with GoPros in our studio. But without giving too much away, a lot of that stuff is coming.
Good news. Do you want to talk about what tracks you may be doing videos for, or you rather we wait till see what goes on? Whatever you want to do, we could do.
I think for like right now, I think our main thing is like I said, we just have that one video for Noose of Doubt. We are in talks right now about doing a video for something else, but it's still kind of up in the air on which one we want to go with.
Okay, I understand. Okay, so what I want to know at this point now is about your gear and touring. Have you had a chance, or are you held back because of your release date party? Are you planning on doing shows? Have you been out there performing? What is going on with the live performance of Eye of Balor?
So right now, we're kind of just getting everything settled again. Like we had finished the EP, we haven't released it yet. We had already started working on our new album. Right now, I mean, everybody in the band has, a life outside of the band to work, kids, family. So we are thinking about touring. It's probably going to be next year at the earliest, and then our release show is actually probably going to be our last show of this year, just as we start planning for the new year, and we want to make that burst out into the scene.
Since we've been already writing for the next album, that's the whole reason why this next show is going to be our last show for the year. We have been out, we have been playing shows. We do have touring experience in other projects. We haven't done anything with this project yet because we didn't want to go out there without anything to show. We wanted to hit the ground running with merchandise, with albums that people can take home from a show and everything. We didn't just want to go and be like, hey, we're a new band and we're touring already. Like, here's our music. I hope you like us. Oh, we don't have anything for you to go home with, not even a sticker. But here, go check out our website. We wanted to go out there with a bunch of stuff that if somebody was at that show and they absolutely fell in love with our music, that they can leave that show with something to remember us by, not only just them going home and hopping on the computer or hopping on their phone in order to find us on some sort of social site. So all of that stuff is definitely coming. With this album, this is pretty much what we're gonna do with this album is do some local promoting, and then as well as streaming sites and whatnot. But with this next year coming up and the next album that's gonna be recorded, we're gonna hit the road with that one for sure.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you don't want to go out to a show with lost opportunities and you can't sell your merch if you have no merch to sell. So, yeah, that makes total sense. And at this point, would you guys like to talk about your gear? And beyond that, would you like to talk about what you do when you're not doing the band?
To fall in with other videos as well, we're also planning on making some pretty detailed rig run through videos.
We can talk a little bit me personally. So we are gonna like Joe was just saying, we're gonna start dropping videos on just run throughs of what we do or what we're using, and especially for Damian and Joe, what they're doing with their rigs. I play a D drum set with I have a Pearl Icon drum rack with Meinl cymbals, and then I play on the D drum Vinnie Paul signature snare drum, and then I also have the Tama Speed Cobra pedals. I have I have a 6-piece set, not including my cymbals and snare. So 2 kicks, 2 floor toms, two mounted toms, and then I have a bunch of cymbals. I have two hi-hats, 2 crashes, 2 chinas, 2 splashes, a bell, and I have a really nice Meinl Classics ride that has a huge bell on it. I love it. I also run with a Lasis DM5 drum module, so that I can I have an electronic pad on my drum set so that I can engage the 808 sound when we're that nice low end bass drop when we're playing live.
Interesting.
Damian.
As far as my guitar rig goes, it's nothing too elaborate. I stick to the basic stuff. I play through an EVH 5153. It's the Stealth 100-watt head, Marshall 212 cab with Celestians. We used to play the 412s, but taking them to most shows and stuff like that just became too much of a hassle. Plus the 212s we have, they crank, man. They're loud. We use... Me and Joe, the stuff that we use that's in common is we use the Line 6 G90 rack wireless units. Gives us freedom on stage. TC Electronics G Major. It's a multi-effects processor, so we don't have to have a bunch of pedals for like phaser and all that other kind of stuff. For all like the lead solos, etc., etc. I use Dunlop wah pedals, the Crybaby series. Love those. We both do clean boost with max on overdrives. And then noise suppressors. Joe uses the Boss NSP, and then I use the Decimator 2. So, because it cuts out a lot of the hiss, a lot of the feedback. And then guitars right now, I'm playing the Jackson Corey Bielu series. It's a King V 7-string cutaway. Love it. Thing plays like butter. It's got the matte neck. Nice, fast, easy playable. And then I built our in-ear system that we use for rehearsals, and we're going to start taking out live. Behringer X32 rack, Sennheiser in-ears, do everything with split DI, the JX48s we use for the guitars, Countryman for the bass, and then I mic all the drums up with the Shure 5P series. And it works awesome, especially for rehearsing. We can hear each other. We can play at a lower volume. Easier to keep timing. We can play the backing tracks, clicks, etc. It's just helped us become a lot tighter players. Joe?
Well, my rig and Damian's rig are pretty similar with most of the stuff. Same cabs and Line 6 and all that. The heads, it's the PV6505 Plus that is modified, correct?
Yeah, modified.
Yeah. With my guitar, I also stick with Jackson as well. I have the 7-string Randy Rhoads model. It feels good. It's really smooth to play. I really like Jackson models.
Awesome. And I guess the bass. What does Maggie play for bass?
Maggie plays this killer 80s Laney tube. It's It's a
Rack
Laney,
mount B1?
yeah, it's the Laney rack mounted B1 with a Laney 410 cab. That thing is nasty, man.
Yeah.
It is loud.
It's amazing.
She plays that. She plays Ibanez bass guitars. She loves them. Their thing looks killer on stage. It's comfortable. She gets all around on it. And then she uses the same wireless setup that we do, the Line 6 G90s.
All right.
That we actually ended up buying from Machine Head,
Yes.
believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, we ended up going to Machine Head had a garage sale. I want to say it was this past winter.
Yeah.
And they were selling a bunch of stuff. We bought Dave McClain's old drum riser. We bought their old in-ear monitor systems that we ended up having to upgrade, but we still used a lot of the stuff. And then we bought their wireless guitar systems, a couple other things.
The ISO cab is really cool. We have a what is it, 412?
That's like 412
It's a-
ISO cab that used to belong to James Hetfield.
Yeah, it used to be James Hetfield from Metallica's that Machine Head got, and now we have.
Wow, that's interesting. So you're able to save some money and get some famous equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all those guys are really cool, man. We've gotten to hang out with them, a couple times and separate occasions, and then Rick's hanging out with them all the time. Rick's band Negative 6 actually got to open up for Violence. I believe it was this last spring. So, I mean, they're all really cool dudes. And, I mean, their sound guy, Steve, love him. He was the one that sold us all the gear and was talking to us, helping us with setups and all that other kind of stuff. So, it was awesome.
Very, very cool. And would you guys like to talk about what you do for a living outside of the band and how you make money? How do you pay your bills?
Yeah, I work in a machine shop. I'm inspection, learning how to weld. It makes the time go by, makes decent money. Doesn't get in the way of being a band, or being a dad. So I like it.
Excellent.
I've worked many of years in the entertainment industry as a union stagehand, as well as maintenance, and eventually a maintenance manager at a concert venue. Then I stepped away, started working in machine shops. That's how I met Damian. Now I'm actually about to go back to the old venue I used to work for in another management role. So I've been all around the entertainment industry.
I was actually injured 2 years ago at work. I messed up my back pretty bad, and I was made permanently disabled. I can still walk and obviously play the drums and everything, but heavy lifting is out of the question. I was working just manual labor, and I had actually just gotten into the electrical union when I got injured, which really sucks. But now I'm a nanny. I take care of a child, so that's pretty cool. And Sean is a HR representative for Amazon. That's what he does for a living.
Oh, wow. And you're drumming with a bad back, though. How do you do that?
Actually, I found that thrones with backrests actually helped me out quite a bit, because my injury is to my lumbar and my thoracic of my spine, so my lower back and the middle of my back, like in between my shoulder blades. I have herniated discs in my spine, and they hurt all day, every day. So it kind of sucks. But I found that, for one, drumming gives me that exercise, because it's a very, very strenuous, job. It's a lot of cardio. My legs are going as fast as I could possibly go, and my hands are going as fast as I could possibly go. So I'm absolutely dripping sweat at the end of it. So it helps with me, one, losing weight, which will be good on my back. It's going to help alleviate that strain of weight pulling on my back, because after I was injured, that was one thing, is that I put on a lot of weight because of the injury. But the throne with the backrest actually helps quite a bit. So if it makes me sit more upright rather than bending over and leaning over my drum set. So that helps quite a bit. And it's because I'm using my arms and my legs. It doesn't necessarily pull on my back too much because I'm sitting while I'm doing it.
That's a very interesting story. I'm sorry you're going through that, but wow. At least you're still able to drum and do what you have to do.
it would be hell if I couldn't play music.
I would imagine so. Would you guys like to say anything to the Eye of Balor fans out there? You sound like you have a fan base already, but I have a feeling you're going to have a lot of up and coming fans of Eye of Balor. Is there anything that you'd like to say to them out there?
No, if you guys are in the area, November 30th, the Red Hat in Concord, come out, show you support. There's a lot of great bands that we're playing with. We're going to be holding a raffle at the show as well, and all the proceeds from the raffle are going towards a charity that we're calling Balls for Balor. We're all the money that we raise for the raffle is going towards buying basketballs and soccer balls and stuff for a local school that has lost their budget for those supplies at their school. So we're definitely very involved with our community at the same time that we love our fans. So come out, show your support, stay tuned, keep your eyes and ears locked into our channels so that you can see what we're coming out with. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys.
Stay tuned, keep an eye out. We're going to be releasing this album. We're already working on the next one. We don't plan on slowing down. If anything, we plan on going faster and faster and faster. Hopefully we'll hit the road. Plans are in the next year or two, do a U.S. tour. I've done it before in other bands. It's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Get to go out, meet people, make a lot of connections, make a lot of really good memories you keep for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing like it. So definitely stay tuned because we got a lot of big plans coming up. And
we're not slowing down.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right, good to know there. And I want to thank you guys for spending time with us tonight on Metal Meltdown on Metal Messiah Radio. I do believe we get to learn more about Eye of Balor than we knew before. And before we go and crank up some more Eye of Balor, I want to make sure that we covered all the bases. Is there anything that you'd like to discuss that we've had yet to discuss about Eye of Balor? Anything more you want to get out there?
I think we covered all the bases. You had some very thorough questions, so that was good. Well, I don't think anything really slipped through the cracks. We're doing. You did a pretty bang up job on that. I think that's. I mean, maybe we want to throw out actually a big shout out to Keith Bellino and Annex Studios. Keith's been a good friend of mine for the past 10 plus years. And when we were looking for a studio, he told me, you guys let me know when you're ready to move in, and I'll have a room ready for you. So big shout out to Keith Bellino and Annex Studios for setting us up with our home.
Yep.
Excellent.
And I mean, shout out to just everyone that's helped us do everything up to this point. I mean, the fans help. Vlad's helped us with getting us out all over the world, reaching out to different people. Zach for recording, pushing us to our best, trying to finish the album. Different promoters, Robbie Perry, Mars Productions, Dwayne O'Metal out here. Guys have given us shows, helped us get the word out, help us meet new people and grow a more organic fan base. Guys like yourself, thank you. These are the opportunities that help us grow as a band and as individuals and, help us reach out to other people. And we're planning on doing more fundraisers in the future. We're planning on trying to start our own foundation, do Metal for Medicine. So that's something that we got in the works. And with guys like you and everyone else that's helped us up to this point, it's only going to get bigger. So we appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. And, I want to wish you the greatest for your CD release party, the Perverse, on the 30th. And also, I want to extend the invitation to you for your next release when you're ready to talk about this and with the music. We could come back and do another interview for that if you'd like to.
Absolutely. We'd love to, man.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I want to wish you all the greatest success with that as well. Also, the best of what's left of 2019, and may you have a really great new year. And always know that my door is open for you to talk about your music. So I wish you the best of success in all the years to come, and hope we can do this for every new release you have out there.
You have our word on it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. How about we go crank up some more Eye of Balor right now and crank it up loud?
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks.
All right.